Welcome to the Pimp My Setup highlights for episode number 225. The first set of the day was submitted by Jessica. Very simple. Again, very small room, not a lot to work with. She can't really decorate the walls too much because of the way, her drywall is set up or whatever. I'm not a fan of when people put whiteboards over the top, only because I think about when you have to actually write on it and you're like leaning over your setup, but I guess it is like a really small desk, not that big of a deal. It doesn't look that cramped, but I like it. I'm not a big fan of when people put pop vinyls in the box and keep it like that, but that actually works. It's just nicely in the corner. It's tucked away. Jessica scored an 86. The next setup was submitted by Jordy, and apparently he's going to be moving soon, which includes like, building a new PC, well, building a PC rather, buying a new monitor, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. If you're moving, then why do you want my feedback? Pretty straightforward setup. It's console only, something we don't see too often. He does have his laptop off to the side, but he's here to play some games. One thing that I would recommend, and I say this all the time for people with older speakers, spray paint the shell like a dark black or whatever you want to do, and it will look brand new. It'll look a lot cooler. Definitely recommend doing that. You have a whiteboard that you don't use, so I think really just comes down to putting things in the right spot. But of course, Jordy scored an 80. The next setup was submitted by Juan. I love it. I hate it. I don't know how to feel. A lot of different kind of furniture. You get sort of like the IKEA looking furniture to the right. Then you get that like Office Max Staples cheap desk that sucks for cable management, but surprisingly did a good job with. I think there's a lot on the desk considering it's not that bad, but when you have the two lamps there, but really it comes down to just getting a new desk, something that works a little bit better. It's going to help with the cable management. Obviously did a great job with it, but it shouldn't have to be that difficult to do. Juan scored an 84. The next setup was submitted by Cruz. Likes to play his PS4 when he's laying on his belly on the floor. What the I would assume that TV has a VESA mount on the back, which would allow him to mount it above his monitors, or better yet, above his DJ setup. Really, as far as everything else goes, the right side just absolutely crowded beyond belief. The monitors, do you really need a 4x3 on the left side? No, you don't. Hey, your speakers, where are they at? Oh, they there, but we can't hear them. The keyboard's half on a mouse pad, half not on a mouse pad, which makes it unbalanced. And then the microphone arm is actually probably the only good thing about this. The computer there, I say this to a lot of people, I don't like it there because imagine your feet under the desk. Cruz scored a 50. The next setup was submitted by Tyler. Really what it comes down to, if you look at like far back, right? And you cover the left side, you're like, that's pretty good. And then you uncover the left side and you're like, really? You couldn't just, put your lotion and soap and all that away? The cable management, there is none.
I don't even think that's a good spot for a filing cabinet.
Exactly. Do you see what's behind it, Tom?
The PC.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Now, as far as the actual desktop goes, I don't think it's that bad. I'm a little confused with the red mouse pad because you have green peripherals, and I was expecting a little bit more green throughout the setup, but then again, you have blue walls, so what the hell do I know? Tyler scored a 58. The next setup was submitted by William. Now, this is before he started watching Pimp My Setup. Let's get a zoom in on that cable management there. Ooh. Now that's hot. Take one last mental picture. This setup sucks ballsack, but this updated version, click it. Oh, that is a nice ass setup. I really love the color of the wall. We see some light gray, some dark gray. If you go to the next photo, it's a more dead on shot, so we're checking that out. Looks pretty good. And I say this all the time, but I hate black and red setups, but this one definitely make an exception for because it is just sexual, and it's not just the coloring that works well, but it's the fact that he really, if you break it down category by category, he does an amazing job. He can go more in depth on the theme, but if he does, he runs the risk of being a little cluttered on the wall, and I think the simplicity works well. The mixer could go somewhere else. I don't think that's a great spot for it. I wouldn't put it on top of there. I'd probably put it next to one of the pop vinyls, probably the left one. The speakers, they are big, right? They are pretty big, so I think having them on the desk like that's not good. If they are loud, they might vibrate a little bit, but also I think they should just be lifted up and angled in a little bit. And by lifted up, they can go on an isolation pad. They could go on a little desk stand, but I think it would look even better if it was mounted. Williams scored 100, my boy. Holy shit. The next setup was submitted by Callum. That is a really nice canvas, but aren't those canvas pieces supposed to be spaced apart just a little bit? The elephant thing is the talk of the chat right now. Tom, what do you think? Elephants?
I have absolutely no clue where that is from.
Are you a fan?
Not really.
Now, as far as the actual setup goes, I do think it's dead simple. There's not a lot to say about it. It does have basic accessories and it does look neat and it's good. But let's be honest, there's really not a lot of moving pieces to it. It's just like, you know, the bare necessities. I maybe would have put the computer in that back corner. I think it would have looked a little bit nicer. Callum scored an 88. The final setup of the day was submitted by Marco. He was on episode 87. It got a really good score if I remember correctly. Did a great job. He's back with a brand new setup. Check it out. So this is the first photo. The next photo is like a whole far back look at everything he's got going on. And then the third photo is cable management. Let's stay there real quick. That Signum is going down, down, diddle-diddle-doo. I think it's interesting how he sort of redid his room. The smaller kind of desk to something a lot more open. He was able to get rid of that shelf that held all of his drinks, which maybe he's not an alcoholic anymore.
Maybe he quit because
yeah, he's like, God damn it, I'm done. He does have some gift cards on there though, which I know is a touchy subject for some people. So let us know what you think in the comments. A mouse pad, I don't know why some people don't like using mouse pads, but it's screaming for one. Marco scored a 90. William walked away with first place with the second person to ever receive 100. Thanks for watching the Pimp My Setup highlights for episode number 225.